What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of the RC9 interviews. We have a double header today. We have two guests back to back. You're now tuned in at 7 o'clock. And we have the one and only Elonn Plummer. He's going to be joining us. And at 9 o'clock, we have Abby Artista is going to be joining us. And we're going to get into it tonight because I enjoy bringing people on who have something to share, who I feel has a story. No matter how big or little, society or the world may view such people, I believe we all have a story. And that's what the RC9 interviews is about, bringing amazing people to the forefront. And so I'm really pleased to have the guests that I have this evening on. We're going to get to know them. Make sure you follow them, support them, encourage them in whatever way, shape, or form. Let's see if the man of the hour is in here. On Instagram, he goes by the name of Stefan Arkels, but his real name is Elonn Plummer. And he is in the room, y'all. So without further ado, we present to you the one and only there you go.
What's going on, bro?
What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good. How you doing?
Great. Usually, it's funny. I'm playing this, soft piano music in the background. I'm usually turned up when I come on. It's a chill night tonight.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, first off, thank you for taking the time and accepting our invitation to come on and chop it up with us. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you for having me. I thank you, bro.
No problem. The holidays are here upon us. I know everybody's preparing for the holidays, and people out there probably shopping, getting their last minute shopping on and whatnot.
Going crazy.
Literally going crazy out there. So, wait for a few more people to come in the room before we get into it.
No doubt.
Like I said, so we just gonna just talk it up, and while we waiting, if you want, you just just give people your name, whatever have you. Let them know who you are, where you're from, and then we'll get right into it. We'll just get into everything else from there.
Word. You mean right now or wait? You want me to wait till some more people get in?
You can start right now because once we get into it, we'll reiterate everything anyway.
I got you. My name's Elonn Plummer. I'm from Plainfield, New Jersey. I don't really know what to say. I never had to accept any awards or nothing too great. I feel like I know you're not supposed to say you're humble, but I feel like I'm a pretty humble guy. Most people would say that about me. People who truly know me. Like I usually don't say much, but right. If you keep going, I'll talk like anybody.
I usually don't say much. I just do my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Chill.
Right.
I like people. I'm a people person. I like talking to people. I like getting to know people. I like listening. Right. I love listening to people.
Yeah, same here, and that's how I feel, and that's what intrigued me about you. Came across your page, and I've seen you, before I contacted you in other places, but just the route in which I came into coming back in contact with your page again was just so was different. I said, you know what, let me go ahead and hit him up. Let me hit him up because this is an interesting guy right here. This is an interesting guy, and I like, and when I mean interested in a good way.
Yeah.
On your Instagram page, Stefan Arkels, it's like you have some great photos on here, and this week is what I dedicated to Model Week, and I know we had to talk offline, and you don't really consider yourself a model like that. You're doing your own thing, but there's something to be said for the content and the work that you have put out,
right.
And that's why I say an aspiring model, and we all aspiring to do something. Get what I'm saying? We are aspiring to whether it's a model, whether it's become a better person, individual, and inwardly, gain more wisdom, whatever our craft and art is. I seen something and when I saw your pictures, and I said, you know what, I want them on here because it's so easy to get females on here because you know the industry and the social media world is filled and flooded with women and
Yeah.
models, and I just wanted to not not to be biased and give our men a chance to be able to speak out and tap in and see what's
Nah,
going on in their world. And just me just giving the background on everybody what's going on, who's checking in. Thank you for checking in with RC9 interviews. It's usually RC9 at 9, but we're doing it back to back today. We got one at 7 o'clock and another interview at 9 o'clock. So we appreciate all of you for coming in. And if you're in here, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend to come on in. There's no other place to be than with the RC. See?
I like it.
So go ahead and hit that airplane at the bottom for those of y'all who are in a room and share with your family, friends, and your network because we're going to get right into it. We have, I love your Instagram name, Stephon Arkell, because it brings you back to the Family Matter days, just so much good memories and sit behind the TV when things were simple, when everybody was not on the internet like we are now on their phones.
I was like, I don't want to say I was always in that era, but I was born in 95. So when I was 14, 13, that was like in 09. So that was when technology really just started to like hit.
Boom.
So
right.
I was just like thrown into that thing. I mean, I always had a phone, but I didn't always have one. Like when iPhones came out, bro, it was
game changer.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That was when it was really a game changer. The iPod, iPhones, all the Apple products. I mean, I wasn't always in tune with the latest stuff, but I always saw I was around it.
I was always around it. I had no choice. You're thrust into it. Yeah, man. And so, when I saw your post, and I'm like, oh man, he got it. Like, he need to be in some magazine somewhere, somebody catalog. Like, what's going on? What's up with this guy here? Let's find out what's going on. And I'm a word person, so I like to play on words.
Mm-hmm.
And on the flyer it says aspiring model and businessman. And prior to this interview, we had offline conversations. And when I use certain words, I use it with a purpose, not just to throw it out there, not just to give titles or anything. I like to give words with a meaning. And I'm like, you know what? I like this, aspiring. Some of you hear people say aspiring actress, aspiring this, aspiring actor, but aspiring, I looked up the definition of it, and it says the directions. Aspiring means directing one's hope or ambition toward becoming a specified type of person. Right? And so based on our conversation, you tell me how you were aspiring, to be better, you acquire more knowledge and, in different areas to become, a better person. And you just, advance and level up. And so when I look at your images and I just see, first of all, it's great quality images. I don't know who take your pictures and what brands you rock for, if you just do it for content purposes, but you take excellent pictures. So I want to give you a shout out to you for that.
Appreciate it. Different photographers, different brands. I mean, my cousin's brand, that was the most, like, probably one of the most recent ones on that picture. Like, oh, this hoodie I'm wearing right now, this is his brand, Playful Mind Clothing.
Okay, let's get Playful Mind Clothing. Shout them out.
Yeah, definitely got some dope stuff. Think you should definitely check it out.
Wow. Yeah. And like I said, when I see a picture, I see a guy who got much humble demeanor, poise. You seem like a guy who's real confident and sure of himself. And like pictures, people can portray themselves in pictures one way, but I connect to people's energy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw your page, I connected to your energy. And that's what made me say, let me tap into this guy. Let me tap into him and see what his life is about. So I gave you the definition of aspiring, right? So now what we're going to do, we're going to flip into your Instagram name.
All right.
Because if nobody don't know what his Instagram name is, Stephon Arkell. If y'all don't know who Stephon Arkell is, then listen, y'all need to go back on YouTube, plug it in, whatever, Hulu, and look up Family Matters and watch the episodes and watch it from the beginning until you get up to the point where Stephon Arkell came into place. Tell me, I'm going somewhere with this, but tell me why you chose that particular name for your Instagram name.
Bro, I'm not even going to lie. I really don't know. Sometimes, I mean, because I used to always be I wouldn't say I was a nerd, but, oh, it's lagging.
It's lagging?
It was like, no, it's not anymore. No,
Okay.
if you came, it was frozen on mine. But yeah, I wasn't always a nerd, but I was always just that like I used to be like real socially awkward, just weird. Like I used to be chubby. I just but when I like once I started hitting like 15, 16, I started getting a little more confident, a little more sure of myself. And I
Okay.
that show all the time. So I'm over here like, you know what? Why not? It's a transitioning period, you know?
Hmm.
And I feel
Wow.
like and my middle name is Stefan. And
Hmm.
like the step over the fence, like the next step up.
Wow. And that's very interesting that you use it. And that tells me a lot, kind of give me a snapshot about your personality and what I see on your Instagram page and how it translates to the energy that I'm picking up. Because we know that Stefan Arkell, before he transformed to that, he was known as Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
And like you said, he was a nerdy guy. He had the high waters on and doing all. Everybody. He's an annoying guy, right? He was
Mm-hmm.
the one that people was like, okay, he's a cool guy. But there was a transformation that happened. He figured it out. He figured something out, and he became this smooth, suave guy. And he was like, he was a ladies' man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was the man. And so I just think the choice of names and just hearing the conversation we had offline and about how you developing yourself as a person, as a man, just to get more involved in life and be more purposeful, more intentional. Is the correlation was very interesting, and that's why I asked about the name, and that's why I also want to hone in and tie on the definition of what it means to aspire something. Once again, I said directed one's hope or ambition towards becoming a specified type of person. So with everything I just said, what is your end goal? What do you ultimately like when it's all said and done? What do you aspire to get to? What kind of man do you aspire to be? What do you vision for yourself?
I'm still working on that. I mean, I always tell myself to start is I always tell myself and my brothers, my family, like not even my just like blood. Like I don't consider we all have people who we consider family or aren't family, but like my closest circle, my people.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes maybe like everybody goes through ups and downs. So I had just I don't know when we think of it. One day I just told my boy like, yo, you are a lifetime journey. Like I told him like I used his name and I said, so it's a lifetime project. Like so when with that's being said, like right now, I mean I don't know the complete end goal,
Mm-hmm.
but I know the journey and the path that I want to take to get there. And like going backtracking a little bit even more, like the whole Stefan Urkel thing, like throughout the show, he wasn't always when he became Stefan Urkel, he wasn't always Stefan Urkel. Sometimes he went back to Urkel. So
Right.
it's like sometimes you're gonna backtrack, but he found that happy median and eventually he got to where he wanted to be. Even
Mm.
his original self, like he had to find himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like with that being said, like I'm going through this life journey. It's always gonna be a process. It's never gonna stop.
Right.
But like I feel like ultimately who I want to be, what I'm aspiring to be is just somebody who can. I know it's cliche, but I just want to help people. I want to help people. I don't like find themselves. Help people figure out what they want. Like my business coaches and my mentors always tell me to help somebody to get what you want. You gotta help somebody get what they want.
Yes. Exactly. Yes.
And that's just something I always keep in the back of my head. Like you have to help people get what they want if you ever become successful. If you want to be successful.
Mm.
So that's my ultimate. People are my purpose. I feel like.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that. People are purpose. So whatever you do, so everything that you're doing for yourself at this period of time and things that you will do in the future will be people driven because
Ultimately,
we all are connected.
yeah.
Absolutely. And that's good. And you know what? And that tells a lot about you, that you're a selfless person. You have a heart for the people. A lot of people are just in their own way, in their own bucket, and just want to do their own thing. And, forget that. I'm going to go get the bag over here. I ain't worried about these people over here. I'm going to get all I can and keep moving just so they can say they got it or they made it or they self-made. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that holds no substance.
Right.
Only what you do for others and the impact you make and imprint you make on other people's lives, is really going to last and matter because it's a ripple effect.
It is. It really is.
It's a ripple effect. So, a lot of people don't understand that. I want to know, because you mentioned you were born in 95, and you pretty much thrust into the era of the social media era, the technology, the iPhone era, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, from your perspective, what like in the social media world, how do you view the social media world at large for your particular age group, right? What kind of impact does it have on your life to have a presence?
So much. So it's so impactful. I feel like that people don't understand the impact it really has. Like, you can literally do everything on social media. Like, literally everything. People get married on social media. People find true love on social media. Don't meet each other for years, and then they're like, "Oh, I want to be with you," but they've been talking for you. Like, I really just think it's like, I feel like we're still discovering the unknown. Like, there's still so much on social media that oh, every day somebody's figuring out something new. If not every day, every week. Like, it's always good. I just feel like it's always, and I love it. I don't even want to say I hate it, because I love it. You can literally operate a business. You can use Instagram as a business platform, and you could use it, and you could be your own. You can own your own business off of Instagram. People do it all the time.
Wow, that is so true. Have you? I'm quite sure you probably have, but have you seen the movie The Matrix?
I have. It's been a minute, but I have seen it.
Right. Do you remember it though? You remember them?
Like, I remember bits and pieces.
Right, because this is one of my reference movies, a point of reference to how we live now. I feel like with the social media, we're living in the Matrix. Yeah. Like, we all are plugged in, and even though we don't have a physical cord coming out the back of our head, and we plugged into the system, like, we're all plugged in, and it's a whole new perspective, whole different dimension, and how we move. The fact that we went from a time in the space where there wasn't social media, right? And right. This is my era. And in high school, for me, is when social media started popping off with AOL. And that was in the 90s. This in the 90s, AOL. And we talking the late night. We're talking about what, like 90, 95, 96, somewhere around that time. Mm-hmm. And so that's my era. And to see where it is now, and how it has evolved to, the world's literally in the palm of your hands.
Literally, bro. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what the slogan is, but you would think that's like just, I don't know why I'm just thinking about, because we're talking about the phones, but like, yeah, I don't know, but like, you literally, it's in the palm of your hand. I had something come to me. I'm sorry, it just left me. But
no, you good. You good. Yeah, and I want to say, like, what do you like? So now we have so many models, right, on Instagram and the other platforms.
Yeah.
And it seems like everybody's a photographer. Everybody's a model, because pictures are so important nowadays, because you're on social media. You got to have some pictures. You you present yourself a certain way. It's almost like it's like you cannot have a social media nowadays. Because right. That's how everybody seems to connect. And there are a few people who don't have social media, who stray away from it. But I know they got a smartphone. They ain't got social media. They got a smartphone. They probably iMessaging each other back and forth, and it's a little more a streamlined form of social media, but they're still engaging.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to focus on model. What, like, when you hear the word model, what words or what things come to your mind when you hear model?
Model, entertainment, muse, beauty. Coming in my head right now, just uniqueness, quality. Like, that's mainly, like, modeling, I feel like, is all about individuality.
Wow.
Because, like, big agencies, a lot of people, like, some of them, I can't even say a lot of them, because I don't want to act like I know everything. But I don't know if I was talking to you about it, if I was talking to my uncle about it, because I was talking to him today. And he keeps telling me, like, yo, you need to take this thing seriously. But it's like, I think it was you last night. You said you could just have that unique look.
Right.
Like, you have to look like everybody else and have this world's socially acceptable image of beauty. Like, I feel like that's the exact opposite of what modeling is. Modeling is truly being loved for who you are.
Wow.
They want this. They don't, if they wanted J-Lo, they would have took J-Lo, but they want you, whatever you.
That's deep, brother. That's actually deep because now you're talking about it. So I'm seeing how the word and the usage of the word modeling has taken form from let's go back even before I was born, like 40s to 50s
Yeah.
to the 60s to the 70s to where we are now. That
Mhm.
word is a dramatic shift in how and what you just explained to me about what comes to your mind when you hear the word modeling. I've never actually heard that before from that perspective because I'm me being a photographer. I'm thinking about modeling. I'm taking pictures. Oh, I got a new model. I have a muse, but it's about individuality. It's like what are you modeling for the world?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you are a model for the world. What do you present to the world? You're not necessarily always modeling a clothing line or the latest sneakers or a hat or whatever. It's like you're modeling your personality.
Exactly. It could be your voice. Like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to always be. People feel like when people think modeling, they think of just everything at once. You have hand models. I mean, like you people,
Yeah.
like people, like we were saying, like like you were saying, like my story or my what I say could be a kickstart for somebody else. Like I really just feel like people need to know that they just do what makes you happy. If that's what you want to do it. Like I'm not taking this seriously because I don't want to, not because I don't think I can't, because
Right.
I don't want to.
Right.
I feel like if it's cliche, but anything is possible. You can
Right.
literally you say and you put your mind to it. The tongue is mightier than the sword.
Yeah.
You got to speak things into existence.
Yes, sir. Manifesting things. Right.
Be around what you want to be. Go get behind the camera. Go have somebody take pictures of you. Like, bro, some of the pictures, I don't want to say half because I'm not sure, but a decent amount of the pictures on my page were taken with an iPhone, bro. Like,
Right.
you
Right.
people understand, like, you don't have to use a professional camera to
Right.
good pictures. This is a professional camera in a sense. Like,
Yes, it is.
camera is what's Macaulay Culkin made a movie off of an iPhone.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? It's amazing what you could do with the iPhone. It's like nobody has an excuse now just to make it happen.
Right.
If you want it, it could happen. Just like you were talking about manifesting, like anything's possible. Somebody thought about a smartphone. Somebody thought about a touch screen. Somebody thought
So,
about putting a camera in a phone.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I
Yeah.
when I when I think about that, so that that's perspective that you're giving about being a model in a sense. So everybody's a model. A model is just not reserved for a person who's taking pictures of you. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Yeah.
reserved just for it's not just reserved for being in the studio or being on TV or on a runway. We all modeling every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day, it's like, what are you projecting to the masses? What are you projecting when you log onto your Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever platform, Twitter you're on? What are you modeling? Because, like you said, you could also model with words.
Mm-hmm.
Words could be you model words. Because on Twitter, it really ain't no picture. You just, you type and
Bro,
tweeting, right?
seriously, it's crazy. Like, now I didn't even. Yeah, nah, for real. Like, I didn't say it like that. I just said like what you say, but like, yeah, words. You can literally, bro. Samuel Morgan Freeman. That man sounds amazing. That man, he narrated a documentary on Netflix. I think it was called The World or the Earth, God's
Oh
Earth.
yeah, he's a master narrator.
Bro, I love his voice. His voice is so soothing. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And he's modeling. I don't even want to. Would that be considered modeling? That's not considered acting, is it?
Well, you know what? They call it voiceovers and things like that. And like you say, narrator. It's definitely a lane. So
Yeah.
it's like the sky's the limit on here, and just like being aware of that our life we're modeling for somebody. Whether we're not taking it seriously, as some people say, like somebody can see your picture and like, man, you need to be doing this. You need to be signed with Ace. You're not really you playing with it. Because I had one of my family members said the same thing to me. I used to model, and I went down south and saw one of my cousins. And they said, "Oh man, what's going on with the model? I see you guys doing pictures and everything. I see you out on runways." And I said, "Oh, same demeanor as you." I said, "Oh, I'm just doing it, have fun with it. It's nothing. I'm just playing around." He said, "Playing around with it." It's almost like he got offended because I wasn't taking it seriously.
Bro,
Because I guess in his eyes, he saw a greater potential.
seriously though, people see things in you that you don't see in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I said that, like, my uncle was just in my ear for like 30 minutes early. I just got done working with him. Then I called him for like 2 seconds to talk about something. And then he started talking about like, yo, he started like, because my cousin used to be in movies, and he used to act and used to model. He was like, why don't you hit up your cousin? Da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, bro, this ain't what I want to do. And because I told him, I was like, I have a plan for my life, and like, this isn't. I can see myself doing this later on down the road. Like, I definitely would want to do it, but right now I have a plan. I was like, and I don't really get in depth with him about certain things because his mindset's a little different. Like, but I love like delayed gratification. Like, I love animals. I want to do a lot with animals one day. I want to own an animal sanctuary one day.
Wow.
Even if I could own a modeling agency one day, that would be dope. But
wow.
I had to put that on the back burner for however long I need to do it, so I can get to where I want to be, so I can have the time to do those things without having to worry about going to work and doing all this. And just, I want my time. Like, if I get my time back, well, when I get my time back, those are some things that I'm going to do. Like, people are going to be like, oh, now I see why you're not doing that. Like, I see why you didn't do this. Now I see. Like, they don't, like, people always see things, you always see people post about, like, they don't see the long nights. They don't see the struggle, but they see that's like, I feel like that's what it's going to be. Like,
wow.
Happiness is the journey. Happiness isn't the destination.
Happiness is the journey. Happiness is not the destination.
Yes.
Wow, because if you wait to the destination to be happy, then you gonna that road's gonna be miserable. That journey's gonna be miserable.
Like, you can't have you feel me? You cannot have it. And it's funny you broke it down even further like that, because I didn't even think about that. My coaches always tell me, that's another thing they always tell me, like, happiness is the journey, it's not the destination.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, it makes sense, but I never really thought about it like
took thought into it, right?
Yeah, I never said anything past that. That's crazy. Yeah. Wow.
Look, like he got a yeah, I get it now. I get it now, and that's real. Like, it's one thing I always say. I said, happiness comes from happenings. It seems like, and that's why we have to have, like, if certain things are not happening in our life, positive, we're not happy, and it affects our mood. And so I like to use the word peace and joy, because those things are more internal. You know what I'm saying? And if I have internal peace and I have internal joy, I don't always have to be concerned about happenings to make me happy, because I'm solid within.
Hold up.
You know what I'm saying?
Hit me with that one more time. I always notebook and a pen, bro. I always think.
I said I like to use the word peace and joy. Yeah. Because peace and joy is internal. Mm-hmm. And being happy, most people are happy because something is happening in their life. Something positive is happening. Something that makes them feel good is happening. But when you have that internal peace and when you have the internal joy, that's just the core of you. That's just implanted. That's in you. Nothing outside can affect that peace of joy unless you allow it in. It's harder to shake that peace of joy that from within, because it's internal and not external.
Right.
So it's coming from within out instead of from out within.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, so I like that. And it's good to be happy. It's good to have, happenings. But I think the main piece of the puzzle is to have that peace and joy inside. Mm-hmm. That's the goal right there. How can I earlier this year I created a saying, and I said I'm going to create my oasis. Mm-hmm. And for some people the oasis may be different, but my oasis, we could interchange that word for the word of peace. And I said I'm creating my peace. And my peace may be just reading a book. It may be just, being in my own space. My peace may be just, coming home and, drinking some coffee or tea and just listen to some jazz or whatever have you. Create your oasis. Whatever makes you happy, create it. But then not only create it, protect it. Protect your oasis. You got to set them boundaries and those parameters that, because things are going to happen. Life is what it is. It's going to try to come and infiltrate your walls.
It will. It will.
Yeah.
It will. It will try and it will succeed. These things will happen.
Mm-hmm. It definitely will, and that's what it's all life about. And so, just seeing like a young man like yourself, you in your 20s, right? You're 20 what?
25.
25. You're 25 years old. You're in your mid 20s. And I know you see life from a whole different perspective. They have to than you did when you just first even turned 21. You may even see life different even from a year ago.
I think if you strive for growth and if you always want more, I want to see more from myself a month from now, bro. Like,
Right.
I always look to see more in myself. If I don't see progress or change, like, yeah, progress, because change, you could be on a treadmill, go walking and not going anywhere. I want to see change. I need to run these laps. Like, I have to.
Mm. He said, I need to run these laps.
Gotta.
He
That
said, gotta put in the work. So you're not afraid to put in the work. That's what it sounds like to me. You're not afraid to sweat and get in the grind.
you have to, bro.
Which leads me to let's take it back a little bit. I know you said you're from Plainfield, New Jersey. So what was your upbringing like? Like, you know, your household, your upbringing in your household. Like, what examples or influences have you had to, you know, to help you to cultivate the mindset you currently have now, or even be on that pathway to, you know, have the mindset to level up? How was your structure growing up?
It was solid, bro. I really can't complain. I was blessed. I mean, I feel like I can't say I would say anything different if it wasn't, but I feel like being blessed and being happy is all relative. Like, to me, I could say I'm blessed because I grew up in a two-parent household. My dad, he worked a lot, but he was home a lot, and he did. At the end of the day, I just look at things. I look at things differently. I have a positive. I feel like I just have a more positive outlook on life. My dad wasn't always who he is now. He wasn't always as calm and peaceful. I always loved him though. My mom was always solid, 100%. But like,
Mm-hmm.
I just always look at it, and this might help somebody watching this. Like, at the end of the day, you got to look at your parents or whoever you love and appreciate in life is whatever job they did to help
Mm-hmm.
you up. They did the best they could, and I always look at that as with my dad. Like, he did the best he could, and I
Right.
can't knock him for anything more, anything less.
Mm.
I love him to death.
Wow. He said he did the best he could.
With what he did the best he could with the cards he was dealt, bro.
Exactly. And you know, with life, you never know what life is. You know, life is the dealer. You never know what
Bro,
cards coming out life hand.
you know what I'm saying? I didn't know what my dad was going through back then. I know now, but it
Right.
makes sense now.
Right.
So I don't knock that man. I don't knock that man for nothing. I hope I can do half as good of a job as he did when I have kids someday.
Right. And it's funny you talking about that. It leads me to my next question. Like, what are your viewpoints on from I guess from your life experience and what you have witnessed? How do you feel about, you know, one day becoming a father and a husband and a family man? What are your goals for that? I know you in the process of developing yourself and putting yourself in position to be that and more. But what do you think about when you think about one day being a father or a husband?
Freedom. Think about being able to be there for every single one of my kids' games, not having to worry about going to work and missing games or missing work going to games. I want to make sure before I have a kid, I want to be financially independent. I want to make sure I don't have to worry about. I want to be there for every single step of the way. I want to be able to
Mm,
buy my kids what they want, buy my wife what she wants. I want to be able to give my family everything I didn't have, even though I had a lot. To me, I had a lot. I may not have had a lot compared to what other people may think, but I feel like I had a lot, and I want my kids to have so much more.
wow. And you know what? That's how it should be. You know, every generation should want better for
Yeah,
the next generation. So it's like you're setting the tone. You see something that which your parents gave you. Now you want to you taking that baton. You want to level up.
bro. Like, yeah, I don't want to have to worry about like people all in just life in general. I mean, people in general, like people are feel like growing up. We're taught that we have to take care of our parents when they get old. I don't want my kids to, like when I get old and when I can't take care of myself physically anymore, cool, but financially, like you shouldn't have to take care of your parents financially. Your parents. I want to build a legacy for my family. I want my kids to be good to go, and have to. I don't want to have to ask my kids for something. I don't want to have to ask my kids for anything. If they need something, I want to be able to give them anything they need. Like, you don't gotta no outsourcing. Everything's in here.
Right. What's that? Nipsey Hussle said, all money in.
A whole bunch in.
All money in. Like whatever you need, like we gonna get to it. So we gonna be strategic about it. So you sound like you on the right path. Like you have a great head on your shoulders. You know, and you know I don't know because has there anything specifically that has impacted your life to make you it seem like make you like, you know what, I gotta get this. I have to be in this place. I know you said you had a good life, you had a good upbringing. You know, some people get their drive and inspiration because maybe they didn't have a lot of things in life, or they struggled here and they struggled over there, which caused them to go hard. What are you most passionate about? What is your passion? What is that thing that say, you know what, I got to do it. I got to level up. What do you see around you?
I don't feel like I've struggled enough in life, bro. Honestly, I feel like I need to experience more. Like sometimes I feel like I don't have enough drive. Like I feel like I need to, like I said, experience more to want more sometimes. Like my ultimate drive, I feel like, is my mother above everything. Like out of what song it was, but I just, like, this is like always in my head. Like I tell my mentors and my business coaches this all the time. Like they're honestly, my mom and stumbling across my business coaches is what pushes me to want and do more. Like if it wasn't for my mom, wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for either one of my parents. But it's more so that my mom never folded on anything.
Wow.
She more than what she could have ever did for me, and still is.
Now, have you, like, when saying this about your mom now, 25 years old, how was your view of your mom when you were younger? When you say like the same?
The same.
Wow. Were you able to articulate it like you are now, or express that to your mom?
No.
So you were just in watching mode, like watching.
Just over here, like unknowingly in awe of everything that she was doing for me and continues to do for me. And even now, sometimes I don't tell her. I can never tell her enough how much I love her and how thankful I am of her. But you know, I'm working on it.
Wow, that's amazing, because nowadays, I believe, and even myself growing up, I didn't understand the amount of sacrifice my parents made,
bro,
and the extent of it until I grew up and had, started having kids of my own and started living on my own and start doing things. And I look back and I'm like, you know what? I am so blessed that my parents raised me the way they raised me. And my story's not like many people's stories. I grew up in a two-parent home, and they took care of me. I didn't want for anything. And so, but just being thankful for that upbringing and examples, role models. I'm more appreciative now, more than ever. Like back then, they put you on punishment. You got to choke for this and that, but you didn't understand it. But the sacrifice they made, and like how you said, I never seen my parents fold. I never seen them crumble. You know what I'm saying? They was resilient and they pressed through, and they made it happen.
Right.
They made it happen. And so, and I think that set the tone for me and wanting to do better, like yourself, wanting to, for the next generations. I know I gotta go hard. I gotta do something different. And I mean, not doing something different as far as going totally off the path that the example my parents said, but knowing I'm taking the nuggets they have given me and build upon it, because that's what we're supposed to do.
Right.
We're not supposed to stay the same, because in life we see how things in technology had changed from the 90s to we going in 2021. We entered another decade in a couple of days.
Oh, bro, we're about to enter another decade. I'm literally like in I feel like I'm in I've already experienced three different generations, and I'm only 25.
That's crazy, right?
Period, bro. Like, it's just crazy. So, like, the 90s into the early 2000s, the mid 2000s. Now we are in 2020.
We're in 2020. That's crazy,
bro.
Now, as you witnessing, like the way things are progressing in life and how technology is just rapidly picking up, new things are coming out. People used to say, life is short, or they said, or somebody said, you only live once. Just do your thing, live once. Do you feel that more now than ever, because how things are rapidly picking up, you have to live your life with more intentionality? Do you feel that you really have to really find your purpose and get on your stuff, because the way things are shifting and moving at such a high rate of speed, by the time you get yourself together, you could mess around, be 40 years old and be like, wait a minute, 10, 20 years just flew past, 15 years just flew past like it's nothing.
Yeah, nah, 100%, bro. And it's just, nothing's promised. You seriously, like, anything can happen. If I die today, and wherever I go, whichever one of my makers I meet, they, like, well, no. I want God to say, "Well done, that good and faithful servant."
Come on.
Looking back at it,
Mm-hmm.
am I gonna be able to say that to myself?
Ooh.
Like, if I die today, I can't say I'd be able to say, "Well done."
Wow.
I'd be like, "You gotta get your butt back down there, bro."
Wow.
You
That's deep right there. That's another deep perspective. He said, I want to be able to say that to myself. I don't want to have to wait till I get to the gates and meet my maker
know what I'm
and
saying?
hear them words. Can I say this to myself right now?
Like, I wasn't confident enough to say that. I should be like, "Nah, I'm good regardless." Like, you gotta like the confidence. Like, bro, I want to be able to say, like, if I die today, I did everything I could, and I can't say that right now.
And so that means for you, that's the trigger. It's like I gotta go harder. I
Mm-hmm.
got too much. I got too much in the tank. This ain't even nowhere near empty. I'm playing. I'm slow. I'm slow rolling. I mean, let me amp it up a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's a lot of it.
He said not just a little bit, a lot of it. He said let's get it correct, like a lot of it.
Let's amp it up.
You know, and I think sometimes we could be too passive with ourselves too, which could be to our own detriment. You know,
Yeah,
passive and late, which you know give way to complacency and being lazy, and then procrastination comes in, and next thing you know, we just chilling and going through life, you know, without any kind of purpose or intensity. You get what I'm saying?
right.
So, what you were saying is you dropping nuggets. What are you know, like I said, what caught my eye about you is the pictures and the fact that you know you help friends out, you help people out, you do it, and you could do that with ease. It's just something that just is natural to you because it is what it is. But what are your other gifts and talents? I know we have talked about you like sports. You said you like several sports, but you said the main one you was passionate about is football.
It was, yeah. I used to love football, bro.
Tell me what you said about football. Tell them what you told me about football. What you like? What did you say you like? What?
I love hitting people. I
You
just
love hitting people, but you said you love organized what?
It's control chaos.
With control. This you said control chaos. I love control chaos.
I could knock somebody's head off and shake their hand right after the game and be cool with it. And if it happened, I'd be cool with it. Like
He said with it.
that's it's football. I feel like football is after. I mean, I can't even say that nowadays. So nowadays they play high school ball like it's college ball. But like, and it's when I was playing Pop Warner, bro, it was so innocent and you just loved it. And even in high school too nowadays, still. But like, like after high school, it becomes more of a job.
Right. Yeah, it's game time for real. Like ain't no time to be messing around.
And that's the problem. People don't. And a lot of kids' parents, even when not just football, with sports in general, like their parents feel like they're like, oh, that's my meal ticket, or he needs to do this. Like, bro, just let your kid go have fun and do what he does. And if he does,
Right.
that's what he do after those 4 years or whatever, then cool. If not, cool. Just like I feel like there's too much pressure on kids to be great nowadays. Like,
Right.
oh, if that's what they really want in life, like.
Mm.
What if somebody just wants to be, and it's cool if you want to be average, people need to understand that that's okay.
Right.
That is perfectly fine. You don't have to feel pressure to be great. If all you can be is average and be all you can be, that's
Right.
perfectly fine.
And just to back up what you're saying, and even if that person wanted to be average, if that person in our eyes it may seem to be average, but in that person's minds, like I'm being the best I could be.
That's exactly, that's a better way of putting it. Exactly. Because I'm not trying to downplay anybody and like make it seem
Right.
like if exactly your best is always going to be your best. You can't compare yourself to anyone else. The second you start comparing yourself to somebody, that's you're 2 steps back already.
Right. And that's the point I want to make too. So with this social media era that we're in, it's so important to have account somewhere on social media. A lot of people are modeling themselves after other people. They'll never come to find out their true identity or their true selves because they're looking to the left, they're looking to right. Well, this is what they're doing to get ahead. So let me do this, and they get lost. Some
Bro,
people never find themselves.
we were just talking. This is what we were talking about last night. Yeah, like
Right.
people find something on social media before they ever find themselves, and then they're gone.
Woo!
Like that whole term, "fake it till you make it."
Right.
That ain't it, bro. And my
That
boy,
is not it. Come on, talk about that.
my boy's kid, bro. I forgot what it was. If it was a video, one of my bros, his name's LX. Go check him out on his name's Leon, but his check him out on Apple Music at LX.
LX. Okay.
LLEX. I don't know if it was a bar, if it was something I saw on his page, but it was a video on his page. He's a very, very deep philosophical dude, good dude. And he was pretty much explaining how you faking it till you make it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. You fake everything up to the point you make it, and then you just stuck in that fake mode.
Okay.
You don't know how to be you anymore. You're not you anymore. You were everything you, quote unquote, wanted to be.
Wow.
So it's not faking it till you making it. That ain't the wave, bro.
That is not the wave. And it's funny, I just had a conversation today in regards to certain phrases and certain things that we have picked up. Like, fake it till you make it. It was something I was talking about earlier today. What was it? It had to do with, it's just these sayings that we pick up, and it wound up being to our detriment because we don't really realize where they came from. And it sounds crazy. Like, we picking up these ideologies and these philosophies, and it's jacking us up. It's jacking us up. That's why I research, and I do my research. If something doesn't feel right within me, let's go check this out, because this I don't know where this is coming from. This don't sound right.
Right.
But that faking it till you make it, that's a society. That's what we're seeing playing out on social media.
Mm-hmm.
People capping. What they say, they have capping left and right.
Big cap.
Really? No, little case and big cap.
Capital.
They got the big sombreros on and everything.
Real talk. Talk.
And it was the other saying, opposites attract. That's what it was. Opposites attract. Where we were talking about how I don't fully agree that opposite attract to a certain extent, but there's so many. You can't be too opposite. You can't be too opposite now.
Never thought about that.
Never. Opposite that jack people up, and it winds up keeping you in predicaments that you're not even supposed to be in, or keep you in there for the long haul. You say, well, you're different and I'm different, so maybe it's meant to be because we're different. You could teach me something, I could teach you something, and we'll work it out as we go along.
But you just messed me up. That's the one right there. Oh, that might have to be it. People that'll have you. Society will really have you thinking. I was this many days old when I figured out that opposites don't really attract.
Right.
Like, bro, because you have to be around like-minded individuals. You can't.
Woo, come on.
My coach is always telling me, where you gonna be 5 years from now is all dependent upon what you read, what you listen to, and who you hang out with. All comes back to that. I'll bet any amount of money on it. Yeah. I'll bet life on it, bro.
That's the big thing. Who's your model? Like, what's your model? Is that television? Is that material you read in your model? Is that music you read in your model? You know what I'm saying? Because you are what you eat. You are what you feed yourself mentally. Yes. Everything, bro. You literally are what you eat. And a lot of people, a lot of people say, I can hang around this type of person. They're not gonna affect me because I'm my own person. They think they're so strong, but they don't realize subtly they taking on ideas and certain sound bites, and it's being deposited. Eating it up. Don't even realize it subconsciously. You're picking it up. And then now something happens. Now you start rolling out like that individual because this is what you heard. And so now it just clicks in. And you go, why do I do this? Because a lot of things we do, we can't even really retrace, for the most part, if we're not aware or woke enough. We can't even trace where it came from. We just do it because we heard it somewhere or we saw somebody do it. So this must be the right way to do it. Like, where are your thoughts coming from? Where are these habits from? Why do you do what you do? Who was your model? Mm-hmm. What was your model? Where's your scaffolding? Why did this happen? You always got to ask yourself why. It's all about the right questions. Got to start with yourself. Got to start with yourself, and that starts that starting with self inventory and all self accountability. Well, I'm reading a book on Hold up. He said, "Hold up, let me pull up the book. Hold up." This book, I recommend this book to any and everybody, and I'm only on chapter 4. What's that? It says the Accountability Circle by Accountability Circle. Who's that by? By Sam Silverstein. Okay. Great book. The accountability circle. I might have to pick that one up and see what that's talking about, because that's one of the things many in this world, we don't want to be accountable. Bro, that you can't. Remember how we were talking about earlier about people like want to be like to be self-made or whatever. Like,
another thing my coach I love to edify you. So that's another thing. What you want to be like, you're gonna consciously and subconsciously edify it one way or another.
Right.
You're gonna promote it. You're gonna talk highly about it, whether it's good or bad.
Right.
And I edify my coaches and mentors so much. And another thing they always tell me is like, a fool is he, and this may not be word for word, but a fool, in their opinion, a fool is he who has himself as a mentor. You can't. Everybody wants to say they're self-made. Nothing was done without a good team.
Nothing. I just had this conversation the other day too.
Bro, and that's what the accountability circle, the book, is all about. It's about our views of accountability. Accountability is not saying, oh, you can't hold, it's an oxymoron. You can't say, I'm going to hold you accountable. You can't hold people accountable for anything. People have to hold themselves accountable. You're just instead of saying like your boss tells you, I'm going to hold you accountable to get this work done, that's just giving orders.
Right. Dictatorship.
Yeah, dictatorship. Bro, this book is all about finding a close group of individuals who you can trust, who you can trust, who you can talk to about anything at any point in time, who will hold you accountable. And this is my boy. He told me the other day, he was like, before I even started reading this book, he was like, I want you to hold me accountable to this until I get it done. He's not saying, and like the way he's pretty much telling me like, oh, like I just got to make sure, just keep him accountable.
Just encourage him.
Yeah, pretty much encouraging. Like making sure if I feel like he's going off the path of what he feels like his vision, his goals, varying from his values, I'm perfectly. You have to find people who you're comfortable with,
right,
doing that with, and vice versa, comfortable with them doing that to you. I'm perfectly fine with checking on him, like, yo, you still doing that? Or I just making sure, so to make sure you still doing what you said you were gonna do. And that's it.
Right. That's it. Keep it moving. You
gotta find people you're comfortable with. You can't just do that with anybody. Like if you have a cousin or a brother or uncle who as soon as you start not reprimanding them, just talking to them, making sure, like, because you genuinely care, and they start being like, nah, I don't want to talk about that. Like, then that's not somebody who you can keep in your accountability circle.
No, not at all. You got to have the right, like you said, got to have the right people. They have to be able to season their words with grace and with love. And,
right.
Like you can't be so quick to. They also have to be patient as well, because it may be sometimes where they come and check up on you, and you may not feel like doing it today, and that's okay. You got to let the person be who they want to be. Everybody grows and expands in their own time, and I don't feel no adult can be micromanaged.
No,
micromanaging an adult that's a disaster right there. You try to micromanage an adult, you set yourself up if you think you can do
it. You can't control it.
Not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You barely can control kids. You barely can micromanage kids. How are you gonna micromanage an adult?
Come on now. Can't.
And so everything that we're talking about, is just funny because this whole conversation just stemmed from seeing pictures on here and seeing an inspiring model, an inspiring businessman, and we just related to life. What are our models of life? What are we, like you said, what are we feeding ourselves? What are we reading? What are we ingesting, digesting? What are we constantly feeding ourselves? Because it's shaping our mind.
It is. One way or
our mind continually.
We love hanging with people. That's the thing with social media too, that I feel like people just don't, and I sometimes don't understand it either. I feel like you never truly fully understand it. But like, well, I can't say never truly fully understand it, because people who are where they want to be do. But me, I'm not where I want to be right now, so I feel like I don't truly understand that what I listen to, who I hang around, and what I read all are in accordance with my values and my purpose at all times. There's people out there who are that disciplined to be like that, but it, of course, it didn't happen tonight. But I'm just saying, like, we're all human. It all happens sometimes, but like, bro, the music we listen to, the things we read, the people we hang out with. Like, I'm in my car one day, I'll be in my car listening to an inspirational audio, or something that my coach has recommended. And as soon as that audio's over, I might throw on some DMX or some Gunna. Everything, like negative always trumps positive. You always have to listen to more positive to get rid of like bad, like a habit.
Yes.
Take 1 days to form a habit. Bro, but it's habits are it's hard to break habits, easy to make habits. I mean, or what's the term I'm looking for? Like it's harder to keep a good habit than it is to break a bad habit.
That's true though. That's true. Just like with negative words and negative comments, I was reading something before, years ago. I heard they said for every negative comment that is spoken to an individual, it takes 7 positive comments to trump that one negative comment.
Bro, I believe it.
That's deep in itself. And that's why we have to be more conscious of how we treat others and the words we communicate to one another. For every negative comment that's spoken, it takes 7 positive comments to overcome that one. And that's the world we in now. Look like we have got a glitch going on over here. There we go. Oh. Can you hear me? I think we lost sound over here. If anybody in the room, can y'all hear? The thumbs up if you can hear. Okay, he just left. He probably gonna come back in. But if y'all checked in, we're just talking about accountability. We're talking about what's our models. We have my man Elonn Plummer in here. He goes by Stefan Arkell. Here he comes back in the room, and we were just touching bases with what are your models? This is RC9 Interviews edition of Model Week, and we have some models come on. We got another model coming on at 9 o'clock, and we have somebody tomorrow. Shout out to RSVP Cast, No Cosign Podcast in the building. I see you. Jay Mizzle in the building. I see you. And we just talking about what are your models in life? What are your examples? What are you feeding yourselves? We live in a social media era where it's a lot of photographers, a lot of models, everybody's taking pictures, but being a model is more than what's being projected on their social media. What are your core values? What are your core principles? What are you projecting to the people in your audience? How are you being a model for those who are around you? So we're going to bring Elonn back in here. Let's get him back in.
Yo.
Here we go.
I don't know what happened, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes the connection, my fault.
There we go. No, it's good. It's good. We just giving everybody a recap of what we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
And everything about being accountable and just what let them know what are your models in your life. Who are your models in your life? What are you feeding yourself, and why is it important? Going to 2021 now? This year's comes to a close finally. We still got to make it out of here. We still got like a few more days in the year. But going to 2021, as you're developing, as you're aspiring in different areas of development in your personal life, what are some things that you want to leave in 2020, and what are some things that you want to gain in 2021? What do what's your mindset going into 2021?
Well, first of all, like I don't really think 2020 was. You always have to look for. My mentors tell me look for the strawberry, look for the positive. 2021, we've had a lot of bad. There's been so much devastation and tragedy, but I feel like one thing that 2020, not 2021, 2020. I feel like 2020 really showed people that you can't depend on anybody else for anything. You can't depend on a job. You can't depend on your government. You can't depend on anyone. At the end of the day, you have to go and get what you want. 2020 just showed me that like a job isn't gonna protect me. It isn't gonna save me. A job is the least dependable source of income you could rely on on any platform. Working for somebody else is the least dependable source of income. Wow.
So it's like about making leverage. So 2020 to many of us that you got to have a supplement your income. You got to have. Your main source is cool to have a main source, but you better have some other sources too, some other streams.
Right. And it's cool to have a job.
Right.
Your job funds your dream. Job 9 to 5. You work. My mentors and coaches always tell me you go to work from 9 to 5, build your dream from 6 to 10.
Right. So, that makes sense. Your job funds your dreams because they say it takes money to make money.
But it really doesn't. I don't believe it takes money to make money. It doesn't.
Talk about it. Break it down for us. Break it down for us now.
I really just thinks it takes a strong why and a strong dream. Your reason for doing whatever you're doing. I don't really think. I just had a conversation about this not too long ago.
It's not money's not an end all to be all for your dream. It is a means to, it's a tool to help your dream. Yes. But it's not like, you know what I'm saying, not the right.
Oh no, yeah, 100%. I just don't like, that's one of those things, like opposites attract. Like it takes money to make money. Like I just don't see, like at the end of the day you gotta have a little bit of money to do anything in life.
Right.
Thank you. If you don't have $1 million to invest in a business or a building, that you'll never make it. Like, no, there's so many ways to go around things. Like, don't keep all your eggs in one basket. That's something 2020 showed me. Don't keep all your eggs in one basket. You can't rely on, like I said before, you can't rely on anybody. I mean, you can rely on people, but don't get mad when the ones you relied on turned it back on you or left you.
Wow.
Hey, you allowed them into your life. You didn't do enough proper investigating to make sure that they were solid.
Well, here we go. What's it? Accountability.
Accountability.
Come on, let's come back to full circle. Accountability. He said, what did you do? You didn't. Who did you allow into your circle? And you didn't do enough investigations. You didn't do. Man, listen.
Proper. You can't be mad at anybody but yourself if somebody did you wrong. Because at the end of the day, you accepted the fact that could happen. So you just gotta appreciate things for what they are. Love people for who they are, not for what they give you.
And then today, don't let the circumstance make you bitter.
Don't ever. One point,
let it make you better.
You like that at one point.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Grow from it. Learn. Every lesson is You don't take losses. You learn lessons.
You don't take losses. Like we take a different type of L.
Different L.
These not losses. These are lessons over here.
Lessons over here, brother.
Yeah, you got anything, and it's just like I liked how you talking, because how you talking is great, because it shows you the type of mind you have and how you just take the negative that comes and then flip into a positive. You know, like you'll find a silver lining in everything. You know, stay positive. We stay realistic about what's going on around us. We're not naive.
No, right.
You know, we don't let that negativity infiltrate us to the point where it holds down and keep us in a place. We have to find ways to continue to use it to rise above the situation, circumstances, and continue to, press in and continue to do better, continue to be better, continue to want more, and knowing that you deserve more and you deserve better.
Right. Where do you put, what kind of, not saying put yourself on a pedestal, but you have to think highly of yourself if you're ever going to get anywhere in life. You can't just be like, well, I'm going to sit here and be mediocre. Like, not like we were saying before, like some people's average is some people's amazing. Not anything like that, but you can't, if you can't expect anything to come from mediocrity and being in your eyes.
Right. You only want to get out of it what you put into it.
That's literally it. It's very simple.
That's the fact. That's the facts of life. You only want to get out of it. If you put in little, you want to get out a little. You put in a lot, you expect a lot coming back your way. What we call it, you reap what you sow. But the other word everybody like to use is karma. Karma could be good or it could be bad.
Right.
When a lot of people hear karma, they just think in a negative connotation. But it could be good. You could have good karma come your way. What you put out there in the universe, what you put out there is going to come back.
How you treating people? What are you saying? You treating people how you want to be treated?
Wow.
Bro, that's people. That's why I say I'm about people, bro. And I'm human. Like I said, we're all human. We all make mistakes. But if you got a good heart, if you got a good mindset for people, you can go far. Like who was I just talking to the other, I was talking to somebody the other day, one of my boys the other day. Like we was talking about our environments and how we like our playing field, it's not much to it. But I feel like the people in Plainfield love each other. Like truly do. Like you're always gonna find a negative person somewhere, but you gotta look for the positive people. And if you're always thinking about that and looking for that, they're gonna find you. Like I posted on my story the other day, not the other day, I think last night I said I'm not a product of my environment. I'm a product for my environment. I'm here to do more for what is already here.
Say that again. Let's run that back. So, you're not a product of your environment. You're a product what?
For my environment.
Come on, it's about perspective, man. It's like flipping a script.
That's it, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta, if you want to be, well, I was listening to an audio, and there was a pastor and like two different ladies in the church. The one lady came up to the pastor. She said, "I'm new here. I just hope." And the pastor asked the lady, well, she was like, what was it? No, lady came up to the pastor. He was like, she was like, "Oh, how are the people in this town? I'm new here." And the pastor was like, "Well, how are the people in your town before you moved here?" And the first lady, she was like, "Oh, they were so nice. Everybody helped each other when somebody was sick. Everybody came together when somebody lost their kid. Everybody came together and helped and looked out for that person." And the pastor was like, "Well, I'll be happy to inform you that those are the exact same people you're going to find in this community." And another lady who had just moved to the same community said, "Well, how are the people like in this community?" Same pastor said, "Well, how are the people in your community?" She said, "Well, there were a bunch of backstabbers, a bunch of liars, cheaters, thieves, frauds, so on and so on." And he, "Well, I'm sorry to inform you, but we have those same kind of people here." Now, I'm saying, like, bro, anywhere you go, it's going to be one or the other. Who are you going to gravitate to? Like,
Right.
you have no choice. Doesn't matter where you move. There's always going to be something you don't like.
Wow. It's always going to be something. It's about how you handle it, how you deal with it, and who you decide to associate yourself with.
That's it.
Who you associate yourself with. And it goes back to, what we talked about in the beginning. That's why it's important for us to know who we are, and not being so carbon copies of the next person.
Right.
You have to, like, who are you? Like, what are you? Do you know who you are? Aside from what society is telling you, do you know you? Because once you know who you are, then you'll be able to move on a higher frequency, on a higher vibration. You'll move different.
Totally different. What is this year taught you? What have you gained from this year?
This year taught me perseverance, resilience. Yeah. It really taught me how to like, one of the things, like, not being afraid. I've always been a risk taker, but really step it up and really go for it, not be, because it's the same as say life is short. And shout out to Philly the Bar, because one of the guys that I do content for, he said life is long or short, but he said life is long based upon the decisions you make, right? So, it could seem long or short based upon the decision you make. And he gave the example of somebody who's sitting in jail for 28 years to life. You know what I'm saying? Life is long for them.
Right. Right.
Us who are out here, we able to move freely about, and so much is going on. We see a lot of different things, like, and we see people dying around us, getting shot, killed, or whatever it may be, COVID. Heck, life is short. They give you a different perspective. So, based upon the decisions we make and how we receive and ingest our experiences will determine, how we roll out. And hopefully, we'll roll out in a positive manner to level up and not, get set back. But this year has taught me a lot about peace of mind. How it's important to protect your peace of mind, by all costs. And I learned that peace comes with a price. Peace comes with a high price. And sometimes many of us are not willing to pay that price.
Oh, right.
Many not know it. And then I also learned that sometimes you won't receive your peace in one big lump sum. I learned that you may receive your peace. Sometimes peace comes piece by piece. That's something, a nugget, I got for one of my friends. You know how some of them tea bags be having those sayings on it in the tea bag. And so I was one of the stories one day, and I said, "Oh, that hit me." Sometimes peace comes piece by piece.
You had me messed up so much I spelled peace the same both times.
Right. Sometimes your peace comes in pieces. Your peace will come in pieces. So it may not be one portion. Like, here's your piece, and you're good. This is your portion. You're good for. Nah, you might have to. It's like, I use an example of somebody who's swimming. So you go underwater, you swim underwater. You got to come up from air at some point. Then you go and you go back in. Right. Swim. Come back up and go back. And it's the same thing with our breath. Sometimes we gotta get our breath, stroke by stroke. You know what I'm saying? Every 10 meters or so, whatever, you gotta come up at some point.
Yeah. And I feel like that's like we was talking about, the journey. Happiness is in the journey. That's like, that's your happiness. Like, you down here struggling, get a break every once in a while, and you get to breathe for a few minutes, but you got to go right back down in there. But you,
Yeah. It's like, I got to go back down.
yeah, but there's always going to be another chance to breathe. Like, that's that
Hmm.
right there. You just take your time, pace yourself. It's a marathon.
Yeah, it
It's,
definitely is. You know, the American, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. The marathon continues.
it continues one way.
And it's going to continue when we long gone from this earth, and we are gone. We nothing but mere dust. The marathon's still going on for somebody else behind us.
Right, it is. Like, what are people going to say about you after you leave?
What are people going to say? And it goes back to what you were talking about earlier, like before you get to the pearly gates, and you want to hear good done, what job well done, thy good and faithful servant. But I want to be able to say that for myself. Can I say that right now? And if I can't say that right now, that means I got a lot of more work to do.
Got more work, brother?
Because one of the things I do believe, tomorrow really isn't promised to us.
Nah.
That's what I will believe. The saying is, tomorrow is definitely not promised to us. The next 5 minutes is not promised to me.
Right. I'm glad I'm here spending it with you, though. If I die today, at least I'll say I'll be able to say I had a really good conversation.
Right? How about it? And who knows? Like if we didn't make it past the interview and we downloaded the joke, or somebody else could look back on it and say, you know what?
Right.
Them brothers said a lot of stuff today. I could use this. It might spark the mind of somebody else and ignite somebody, set them ablaze.
Right. Even if it's just one person, bro, that's all.
Even just one.
One touches 1,000, 1,000 touches 1,000,000, and so on and so forth.
And that's what it's all about. We can't ask for anything more. I used to call myself, I'm a spiritual and a natural farmer. I just drop nuggets. I'm here to drop nuggets. Somebody will come to water it. Somebody will come to shine light on that thing, and in due time it'll grow. But I'm just here just to, plant them seeds and keep them moving. Just like somebody has planted some seeds in my life.
Right.
Saying somebody made my mother when I was a kid, or my father planted a couple of seeds, and it may have sprouted in, but as I got older, life started watering those seeds.
Right.
And somebody came and started shining some light on it, and now I'm blossoming. I'm like, oh, okay. I see where them seeds that my mom planted years ago. Now it's starting to, I'm a tree now, Mom. I'm a tree.
Come get.
So this was good, brother. I really appreciate you for coming on to check in RC9 interviews, man. I'm so glad that we was able to chop it up, even before this interview and get it in because it's much needed, man. It's much needed, and just to hear from a brother like yourself, I see you doing great things. Just from here alone, in the conversation we had alone, I even know a little bit more about you and your mindset. So I'm just glad to be able to chop it up with you, and I just hope whoever's listening to this will share this with somebody who may need it. Follow him on there, Stefan Arkell. If you want to ask him some questions, if you need him, like he's still an inspiring model and a businessman. He might have some nuggets for y'all, some game for y'all. Represent your brand, hire him, get that work, because he still got that model and them looks is still a gift, brother. Still a gift. So you got it, man. So I appreciate you. Anything else? Anybody you want to shout out? Anything else you wanted to talk about? As we wrap it up.
Just want to shout out my team. By my team, I just mean everybody around me who has played a part in me being where I'm at right now, whether it's good or bad. Of course, more so for the good, because without that, I wouldn't be anything without the people. My bro, shoot, so many bros, so many sisters. Just because I don't like. Of course, people have their close-knit circles, but I have a lot of people who have influenced me positively in my life, who I consider my friends. Like, they may not be as close as I could, let's say, my family, but like I'm a people person. You can't be a people person and say I don't have a lot of friends. Like,
right,
I have a lot of friends. I consider a lot of people friends, and people are there for their own reasons, and I can't take credit for anything but following through with the direction people gave me. I'm just.
Wow. That's it. He said, shout out to the team.
Shout out.
That's humble. That's humble right there. Shout out to the team. I'm not self-made. I couldn't get here on my own. You're intentional about the circle and the company you keep. And like they said, you are. We said before, you are what you eat, but you also, you are who you're around. This old saying says, look at your three closest friends around you, and somebody can tell you who you are by who you hang around. And guilty by association.
Guilty by association. You going to jail now.
You going to jail now. We got you. The case is on you.
Closed.
Telling you. But, Elonn, I really appreciate you, bro. Are you on anything else other than Instagram? Are you on Twitter? Anywhere else on a social platform?
I'm on Twitter. I don't even remember. I don't really go on Twitter. I'm mostly on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook is my name, Elonn Plummer. I mean, if you go to my IG, you'll be able to see. Like you said, if anybody has questions, if anybody wants to talk about anything, I'm always willing. I love listening to people. I'm always willing to talk to somebody about something. Pick brain, whatever. Like, just holler at me. I'll be around. I'm always here.
He said, holler at me. I'll be around.
I'll be around.
Like I said, like on his Instagram, he said, I like what you put on your Instagram, and I'm gonna wrap it up here. It says, lay low and grow.
Lay low and grow.
Lay low and grow. That's what's up. I appreciate that. So y'all hit him up. Elonn, thank you so much, brother, for chiming in and chopping it up with us. Listen, we're going to get this out here. We're going to spread this to the people who need to hear this. And if y'all got anything from this, definitely encourage him. Send him a DM and let him know, that he dropped some nuggets for us. Let him know.
Appreciate it.
No problem, bro. You be blessed, man. Happy holidays to yours.
Happy holidays to you and yours as well, bro.
Yes, sir. And we'll be in touch, all right?
For sure.
All right. God bless.
Have a good night.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the RC9 interviews. We had the one and only Stefan Arkell. His name is on Instagram. Go ahead and follow. That's STEPHAN.URQUEL. URQUEL. Yeah, that's it on there. Elonn, but he's a good dude. Gave a lot of nuggets. Don't forget, we'll be back here at 9 o'clock because we have Abby Artista who joined us. She's a New York model, and she's done some dynamic work with a lot of great brands, published model, doing her thing. So we'll be back here at 9 o'clock. So stay tuned to the RC9 at 9. RC9 interviews. God bless y'all and see y'all in the field. Thank you for tuning in.